Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and this morning is Legacy Lit. Legacy Lit. How about turn up on our legacy? That's right. We're still talking about Juneteenth, and as I've said so many times, we rush into holidays, we rush into them, and we rush right out of them. We can't wait to get to them. We experience the 24 hours of them, and then we move on to the next thing. And I think that that is a mistake because as a result of that, we cannot sit in it. So I need you to sit in it as I give you a trailer for Sunday, as well as just let's sit in a little bit more of Juneteenth. How about that? I also want to just raise this question as everybody comes on this morning. What did you do yesterday? Put it in the chat area. What did you do yesterday? I want to know. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. How about that? Put it in the chat area. What did you do yesterday? Did you cook out? And second question is, are you going to celebrate the 4th of July? That's going to be in a couple of weeks or so. I have no intentions of doing it. But I want to just ask this question right now. I want to ask this question, and the reason why, and I'll explain on the 4th of July what I'm talking about. You just have to wait until then. But nevertheless, I want you to find out what did you do on Juneteenth yesterday. Let's hear that. Let's hear that. Let's not rush into the holiday and rush right out. I say it all the time at New Life, into Easter, out of Easter, into Christmas, right out of Christmas, into New Year's, we're right out of it. We don't sit in something long enough. Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever the case. So Juneteenth, what did you do yesterday? And let me greet some folk, and then we're going to get into Legacy Lit. Legacy Lit. Good morning, Ella. How are you on this morning? Arlene, how are you? Lenore, how are you? Ramona, how are you on this morning? Juro, how are you on this morning? Liz, how are you? Yolanda, how are you on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Laura, how are you on this morning? Bobby, how are you? Brenda, how are you on this morning? Vaughn, how are you? Verena's in the house as well. Deborah, how are you on this morning? Joelle, how are you? Carolyn, Brenda's sister, is in the house. Dan is in the house as well. Felicia is here. Angela, how are you on this morning? Want to know? Let me just pause here and raise the question. Like I said, what did you do on yesterday for Juneteenth? And let's not rush right out of it. Let's not rush right out of it. Let's sit in it a moment. And therefore, we're talking about this morning, legacy lit, legacy lit. How about that? LaFawn, how are you on this morning? Francine, how are you? Pastor Richard in the house, how are you on this morning? Pasha, how are you? Here we go. Bernice, how are you? Okay, Brenda said, we celebrate the 4th because it's my husband's birthday. How about that? You better. It doesn't get a better reason than that, Brenda. Leave it up to you to be comical. Good morning, Jacqueline. How are you on this morning? Okay, what was it? I supported a Black-owned business yesterday. How about that? How about very good? You know, there is a Black-owned business that supports New Life. There's more, and we'll get to that. But our midweek meal at Word on Wednesday is supported by Platinum Roofing, which is a black-owned business. So support them, please. Cynthia, how are you on this morning? Pasha, how are you? Said you're hanging out with family. Hi, family. Okay, Carolyn, what did you do? My sister and I supported black-owned business. I gotta go get those cookies. Yes, I gotta get those cookies. I am a cookie monster. Trust when I tell you. There's not a meal, very few meals I eat and don't have a cookie or Oreo or something right afterwards. Okay, I gotta get there. Gotta get there. All right, that's right. That's what Brenda's saying as well. What else did you all do before I move into it? Before I move into it on this morning, what else did you do on Juneteenth? Let me hear some more. So we celebrate because it's Ann's birthday. Oh my God, Ann's birthday on about that. Can't get a better reason than that. Can't get a better reason than that. Sit in it. What did you do yesterday? Read Black History. How about that? You all in my house, Bev. All tally. You all in my house because that's what we're going to be talking about on this morning. Legacy lit. Legacy lit. I'm going to get one or two more, and then we're going to get to it. Construction guys completing some of our. Okay, I got it. Well, yesterday I chilled. I scheduled some posts. Took some time out, made some reels, and scheduled them to post. I also we had the some people to come, a company come and clean all the windows in the house, wash the windows because I'm not doing that, and neither is First Lady. And what else? What else did I do yesterday? Just chill, watch the game, that kind of thing. And of course, I reflected. Of course, I reflected. Of course, I did. All right, that's right. Alibi Cookies is owned by a life changer. That's right. That's why I got to get by there, and I got to lay hands on that place and pray for it to be prosperous. How about that? Okay, it is time for morning manna. So let's just dive into it on this one. Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day. Joel 1 and 3, first chapter, third verse, the NIV translation. Tell it to your children, and let your children tell it to their children, and their children to the next generation. Juneteenth wasn't just the end of slavery for a few, it was a delayed declaration of dignity for generations to come. The self-hatred that has perpetuated in our culture and in our race as African Americans comes directly from the years of slavery. And that delay only delays us coming into knowing our dignity the more. The truth is, we didn't just survive slavery, we outlived it. But survival is not the same as succession. God didn't just bring us out, He called us to pass it on. In Joel 1 and 3, it's clear. And we're going to delve in generational things this Sunday in our panel discussion. We're going to get that at Wide Church. Tell it, teach it, transfer it. Tell it, teach it, transfer it. What we don't pass down, culture will remix and hand back to our children distorted. Let me say that one more time. What we do not pass down, tell it, teach it, transfer it. The culture will remix it and hand it back to our children distorted. That's why legacy ain't light. It's lit. It's heavy with history, soaked in struggle, but glowing with glory. I want you to grab this. We don't afford and we can't afford to let Juneteenth be reduced to a cookout or a color scheme. It must be a call to commission. It cannot be reduced to just a cookout. We got to be called to a commission to raise freedom fighters, justice dreamers, and faith walkers who know where they came from and who they belong to. There's three things I want you to get as a result of Legacy Lit and what you need to do. One, you're not just raising kids, you are raising carriers of the covenant. You're not just raising children, parents, grandparents, great grands. Give them history, but also give them some holy fire with that. Two, legacy is more than land or money, it's memory and mission. It's more than land and money. Great if you have it to pass it on, but what about also the memory and the mission? Pass down the story, the scars, and the strategy. Look through the window, not in the mirror. Look through the window, not in the mirror. 3. If the enemy can stop you from telling it, he can silence a whole generation. And that's what he's trying to do right now by making DEI and Black history somehow or another something against America, not a part of America. So open your mouth and deposit truth into the next wave and the next generation because legacy is lit and you need to grab a hold of that. So, what's your takeaway this morning? Juneteenth is not just a past event, but a present charge. Put it in the chat. It's not just a past event, but a present charge. And we're going to pick up on this in our Why Church as we look at church and why through the lens of generations. If this bless you, bless somebody else, don't keep it to yourself. We're 2 days from church. Wherever church you go to, make sure you're there. If not, watch. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you and give you peace. I'll see you Monday when we get into the month of June, the last week of June, and this whole month is all about male mental health. And we're going to have our therapist back on. God bless you. Have a great weekend.